I guess a personal goal for 2018 would be to beat SK in the BO3 and LAN. It's not just saying that because we play them next. It's because I've only beaten them in best of 1 on LAN, and best 3 is more prestigious in my opinion. That's a goal. And also winning a major, of course, that's also a goal.
Taco can't do anything. The pandemonium is 16 rounds. And Cloud9 in the grand final
with the most difficult run. Cloud9, the ELEAGUE Major champions.
The obvious one would be Quantum Bellator making it to Legend stage. I mean, making it to the major itself was an upset, so to make it to Legend stage is like a super upset. And also think it was kind of sad that Astralis didn't make it through because they're a solid team that can always put up a good fight versus top teams. So the fact that they didn't make it through kind of sucks. I think it's a mix of both. I always strive to make sure I don't make the same mistake twice. Obviously, it's impossible to do that, but if I make a mistake or I do something wrong, I make sure that the next time I play, I try not to do the same thing. And I did that for however many years. And I think it's important for me to have a defined team in terms of roles. Like when I was in Optic with Stanislaw, we had really defined roles. We had an IGL, set opper, set lurker, everything. So I was really comfortable with where I was at. And then when Stanislaw left, we had no set IGL, and the roles got all messed up. Like Mixwell stopped opping at one point. And it was really hard for me to find my place, and that's when I had like a streak of like not playing well. But the whole team was pretty bad at that point. But that was granted because we didn't have an IGL. But the point is that on Cloud9, the roles are really set in stone and defined, and I'm really comfortable with the way it is. I think a player like Zipnix would be good for me. I don't think he would ever leave Astralis, but the point is that he's a solid CT player. I think I'm similar in that. He's also a pretty rock solid T player. He's not like really a flashy player, but he makes not many mistakes, and I feel like I'm sort of similar to that. I would say right now there's an unspoken rivalry between us. I think most of us are friends though outside of the game, so it's not like we despise each other. Even in game, I feel like we joke around. But I think there is a rivalry for sure in the making. The opportunity to climb the ranks from rank S and get noticed is definitely there. That's the whole point of it, is for players to grind in pugs and to get noticed by pro players. But I think the way that the game is played in rank S and the way that the environment is, it's harder for players to get better and show their true skill, because there hasn't been many players that have been in rank S that have actually gone to a pro team recently. So I think right now it's kind of rare, but the opportunity is definitely there. I think NA has been on the rise in the last few years because of teams like SK and Immortals coming to NA. They bring a lot of good practice, and I think it brings motivation as well to see them, even though they're playing in the NA scene, they're winning tournaments, being at the top of the world. I think seeing that helped a lot, and like I said, practicing versus them is also really huge. Cloud9 is great to play for because they have all the fans basically, and the org itself it's huge. It's, kind of reminds me of Optic, but I think we have more CS fans here on Cloud9, so I'm really happy for that. I learned on Optic my true potential as a player. I think I learned that I can fight with the best at any moment and win a game at any moment as well for us. Like whether it be because obviously like I said, it's important to have the IGL aspect. So I think having an IGL that knows how to direct me is important.
For more CSGO interviews and analysis, subscribe to our channel. You can also find stats, discussions, and more on our website and mobile app at blitzesports.com.